Hi everyone, Martin here. I do our brand new EdTech live stream. It's the very first one. I'm very excited about it. How do you know we're live? Well, Alexa, what's the date?
Today is Wednesday, June 21st.
Alexa, what's the time?
It's 8 p.m.
Alexa, thank you for not embarrassing me during my live stream.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
No. We'll have words when we get home. First to the news, and there's been a recent study into the effect of social media on people's mental health. This is a study by the Royal Society of Public Health. The study outlines how young people encounter unrealistic body images on social media. It goes on to rank these in order of most positive to most negative, starting with YouTube being the most positive, followed by Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and then Instagram coming in last. Being a vlogger or a live streamer is big business in China, and now a college is offering courses into this. The Yiwu Industrial and Commercial College near Shanghai is now offering a course for would-be vloggers to improve their skills. Because of the popularity of vloggers in China, many schools are also emulating this in clubs. Will the UK follow suit? Next, in a recent survey of 1,000 children aged 6 to 17, 34% of children said they would like to be a YouTube personality, with 75% of people saying they'd consider it. Reasons given were, number 1, creativity at 24%, fame at just over 11%, self-expression at 11%, and money just coming under 10%. And this brings me on nicely to my interview with Miss Clark Tsai. This is what happened when I spoke to her earlier. So, can you tell me a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, so I'm Miss Clark. I currently teach secondary science in a central Cardiff school. I've been teaching since last September, so I'm a first year Teach First participant, so brand new to it. And I did a neuroscience degree at Bristol for 4 years, did a year in a lab, thought I was going to do that forever, didn't enjoy it, and then got headhunted by Teach First, so here I am.
Oh, fantastic. So we can talk a little bit about that at the end, maybe. We can talk about some of the comparisons between the classroom and the lab. That'd be fascinating. Yeah. But why have you been invited to talk to me today?
So I currently or recently started a YouTube channel called Miss Clark Does Science. And it's a revision channel really for the WJEC course in Wales for secondary science. And that's why I was invited to talk today.
And what inspired you to start this YouTube channel?
Well, having just kind of come out of university myself and recently been a student, when I was younger, I guess YouTube blew up when I was going through education. And although, you know, you have the funny cat videos, you have all the stuff on there that's amazing, there were a few people kind of tailoring it towards education. And I used it through school. Khan Academy was a big influence. And I just thought it was mad that WJC in particular didn't have kind of a platform for it online. And now, because, you know, it's easy as a teenager, although there's lots out there, it's hard to kind of cherry pick what's actually going to be useful for you. So having something that's dedicated that you can kind of share in the teaching profession, I think is really valuable, so that they know that it is accessible and it is on a platform that they know. And that's kind of why I started the channel.
And what kind of equipment do you use to make your videos?
So lots of things are involved, but it's not too bad. I did a bit of research on what people currently did, just literally a Google search, how do I make a YouTube channel? So it's all out there. I use, so I don't do videos on my channel. I don't do the myself talking. No real reason, I just don't at the moment. Maybe that'll come. So I use a PowerPoint because it's what I'm used to as a teacher to structure the base of the session. And then I will kind of write over it in live with one of my Wacom tablets. I got this for like £30 off eBay. It was secondhand, but it does the job. And I use the little pen to write live what I'm doing as I'm saying it. So it's kind of like teaching really. But and I also so I recently upgraded my microphone, all fancy, to a blue snowball one, which only really works if you hold it really close. And I don't have, well, I've gone for the cheap alternative of using a pair of tights as a pop filter. So at the moment, it's still basics, but and that's the beauty of it. I think it's good to know that you can literally start this up with maybe £50 in your pocket. This was a bit of a splash out at 50. But I was using my headset before that, which was like £15 off Amazon, using the microphone here. So, and I was still getting good feedback. So anyone can do it.
Feedback way.
Yeah, so far no negative.
So you find it easy to do?
Yeah, I don't know if this is just because I'm of that generation, but for me it wasn't that bad. I'm used to using iMovie from when I was growing up, and I used to make videos because I thought it was fun. So now I use iMovie on my MacBook to edit all the videos and just cut out the audio that I don't want to use. I use a software called Ice Cream to kind of take a snapshot of the screen while I talk, which is good. And yeah, I mean, you do come across blips. So when I first started doing it, I was talking way too fast, which meant audio was really hard to edit. So I quickly learned, you need to slow it down. And if you make a mistake, pause for like a second or two so that you know where to edit that out rather than just carrying on straight away. So, yeah, you learn a lot as you go, but I think that's just teaching.
And is there anything else you found that's difficult, or any top tips that you can give people who want to emulate what you're doing?
Talk slow. It does take a little bit longer to kind of plan out what you're going to do in the session, because your base materials are always going to be less because you're adding more as you go. So take the time to plan it out properly. And honestly, just give it a go, because the first one I ever did, I scrapped it and redid the whole thing because I was like, this isn't going to work. So, you have to give it a go to know what to expect, really. And even if you literally just have a laptop and you sit there and you talk and you have a PowerPoint that you just run through, that you talk through, it's something. And this all kind of stemmed back to, I was observed being a new teacher, and the external moderator said to me, wasn't it amazing when you put on that video and they all just shut up and they all just were instantly quiet? He said, wasn't that just amazing? So why didn't we just record ourselves as a joke? And I thought, you know what, let's try it. So yeah, and they do, because to them it's fun. To them a screen is something that people maybe aren't as used to using. And I think in teaching it is becoming more and more common, but the more we can bring science or whatever your subject is to them at home and to them in their comfort zone, I think the more they'll learn.
Well, Ms. Clark, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And if you'd like to find out more about Ms. Clark's Sci, we've put the links to her Twitter page and also her fantastic YouTube channel in the show notes, and also in the live chat if you're watching live. Next, I'd like to share a couple of websites which I found recently. Once again, all of the links will be in the live chat if you're watching live, or if you're watching the repeat on YouTube or elsewhere, it should be in the show notes. This first site offers a way to take your pupils on a virtual field trip. Ask your pupils to explore a range of different environments. Teachers can add waypoints giving directions and tasks to pupils. These don't need to be confined to science or geography, and can cover many areas of the curriculum, just like the real great outdoors. Many schools have incorporated badges into their behaviour management structure. This website allows you to design your own, bespoke for whatever task you wish. Simply make it and then print it. Like Minecraft? Well, come now, who doesn't? Well, this is a free version of Minecraft. It has the majority of the same features, and is certainly good enough to give educational value and do most of the things that teachers will want it to do in the classroom. A good timing app is a good way to motivate your pupils. This tool combines a timer with a visual representation of the volume in your classroom. Use it to moderate the volume of your pupils for specific tasks. And finally, ever wondered what's beneath you? No, I'm not talking about dancing in assembly. This website from the BBC takes an imaginary scientific journey 6,000 kilometres beneath our feet and explores what you may find there. Just to make you aware that the June edition of the UKEdTech magazine is out now, which you can get by clicking on the show notes or using the link in the live chat. Next, I'd like to share with you a review which I've done, all about a fantastic resource which has brought a new dimension to teaching electronics in my classroom. So this is something I've pulled from my class. This isn't something which I've been asked to review. I'm talking about it because I simply love them. I think they're fantastic. So everybody's got that drawer in their school which is full of battery cables, wires, crocodile clips, that kind of thing. Well, this system, this is just one kit in the system which allows you to bypass all of that, so you don't have to spend hours untangling all of the wires in your drawers and replacing bulbs and things. As you can see, I've currently got these plugged in into USB, which is how they're charged, but actually they are standalone units. And the way it works is it connects via Bluetooth through a dongle, which I've already got plugged into my computer, and these then interact with a program on the computer, which I'll show you a bit later. So this is a tilt sensor. This is a tilt sensor. So there's a little ball bearing inside here, which, as you tilt it, detects the angle that you're doing it at. This one here is a light sensor. This one here is a buzzer, perfect for annoying the teacher next door to you. And then this one is a motor. So this also detaches, like so. And I've used this one many different ways, so I'll talk a bit more about the platform later on. But one thing you can do is connect it to web applications like Twitter, and I've actually asked the children in my class to design a windmill which spins around every time the class Twitter handle gets a mention, and everybody celebrates, everybody claps, and it's wonderful. But I've also had this sensitive part wrapped up in cling film, which is probably not the best idea and has probably invalidated the warranty on it, and then I've put it onto the back of a boat which we've then floated through water, and this has actually powered the boat. The buzzer is quite a nice way of signalling things within your classroom. So because of the light sensor, we can do things like when the door opens, we can actually connect these two using the sensor. And again, similar sort of thing, as an input device, this is quite a nice thing to be able to use. So if we move on to the platform, you can see that the buzzer and the light sensor are both online, and as you can see, the lights are on for those two. I'm also going to turn on the motor, and there's a little switch at the side. And then you can see those are now present. Now if I drag my output device, the buzzer, because it makes a noise, that means it's an output device, and I can put my light sensor in as well, that provides some input, I can then connect the two, and you can hear straight away, because I'm in a fairly light room, that the buzzer has gone off already. So if I cover the light sensor, you can hear that the buzzer goes off. And that's connecting via the computer through the Bluetooth dongle rather than actually connecting between the two. So as long as it's within range, that should then work, which gives you much greater flexibility to be able to use that. So if I disconnect those now, so if I click on here and get rid of my virtual wire, I can do the same thing with the motor. So I have the light sensor, I'm then going to make a virtual wire between those two, and you'll see that the colour of the motor light has changed, and the motor is already moving along rather speedily because the light sensor is in a light room. So if I cover that again, then the motor stops straight away. If I disconnect those again, and you can see there are lots of different ways you can use this. So it's not just through the sensors, you can also play different sounds. So you can actually use the light sensor or the tilt sensor to stimulate some music. You can also use things like if this then that, which provides much greater interactivity. So if you're looking at introducing the Internet of Things, then that's a really nice way of doing it. So you can connect these devices to be able to interact with online services, and there's a whole list of different services. And of course there's things like your own code and there's all sorts of different things that you can do. So you can do things like delays and intervals, so actually it repeatedly does the same thing once it receives a stimulus. So it's a really fantastic way not to just introduce coding on a screen, obviously this is on a screen, but it also brings it into a wider context using the devices in front of you as well. Just to let you know, we've got our UKEdTech online conference coming up in October. You can get your access to it now. You can go and get tickets by going to the link in the show notes or in the live chat. And we've got some amazing speakers. We've got over 40 amazing speakers from all over the world. It's going to be an amazing event, so I hope you can join that. Next, it's my weekly scratch. So we're going to try to simulate simple gravity. Now, as everybody knows, every Mario that goes up must come down. And some sort of gravity is important in many types of games, especially things like platform games. So what I've done is I have a simple ball, which I can move around. I have a black line, and I've also got a variable up here, which you can set by going to Data, and then Make a Variable, which is up here. So what I've also done is I've put in a simple move right. So it's simply going to move slightly to the right if I press the right arrow on my keyboard, and I've done the same for the left. I've also set up a piece of code which says that if it's touching the black line, or any kind of black for that matter, then it's going to decrease the number in here by 10. So it's going to go by -10. And it's also going to go up. And why I've done that is if this ball isn't set in the right position, then it resets everything. The code which I'm particularly interested in is how to actually simulate the gravity. If you go to Events, then if you choose any kind of way to start this, I'm going to use the flag, which is at the top here. So when I click that, then it will start. I'm also going to do some motion. So I'm going to ask it to go to XY. And I want this one to stay as 0. And I'm going to put this one as -91. After that, I want to make sure that my ball is facing the right direction, because if not, it's going to look like quite strange gravity. So I'm going to ask it to point to 0 degrees, which is straight up. After that, I want to repeat my gravity move forever. So what it's actually doing is it's doing a stop, and then it's going to make the action and then stop again, and so on. So I want to repeat what's inside here forever. So what I want to do now is find my move, and I'm going to drag in an operator, and this particular operator is going to be a minus piece of mathematics. In here, I want the baseline, the simple number, to be 0, and then I'm going to use my data and the gravity, which is the number up here, which is going to keep changing, and I want to put that in there. So I've got a number which is going to increase based on what I've done elsewhere in the code, and then it's going to rapidly decrease, and then it's going to go past the 0 and actually into the minus again. And you'll see that when I demonstrate it in a moment or two. Just so it doesn't do it very, very quickly, so the computer does it all in one go and you can't see anything, I'm going to put in a wait of a very short space of time. So I'm going to do 0.05 seconds, so a 20th of a second. And then I'm going to go to my data tab again, and I want the gravity to change by 1 each time it goes through this cycle. And the reason for that again is so it can decrease by 1 change in the amount of gravity that it's actually acting on it. So the idea is that it first of all goes up in like a jumping motion, and then it's going to slowly reach to the pinnacle and then fall back down. After that, I need to control what I'm doing here. So I'm going to have an if function. So if something's happening, then something else is going to happen because of that. I'm going to go into my sensing, and I want my touching color. So exactly the same as that's going to go here. So I want that again to be black. So I've just clicked on the black line to signal the fact that I want it to be the same color. After that, I need to set the gravity to a certain point. So I'm going to go to data yet again, and I'm going to set the gravity, and in this case to 0. Now, if all of that is correct, then if I click on here, so you notice that it did a little jump there, that's just to reset everything. And now if I click my spacebar, which is what this code here is for, then it gives me that nice jumping and then falling back down. Rather than just going up then down all in one motion, it's graduating to the pinnacle and then falling back down. So it's actually giving some sort of sense of the velocity of the gravity and the force acting on the ball is changing. And you'll notice that if I do the left and right keys as well while I'm jumping, then it does also allow me to give that kind of thing you need in the game to be able to jump over obstacles.
That's almost it for this live stream. Just to tell you that this live stream has been funded by the donations we've received on Patreon from our UKEdTech patrons. To find out more about that and to get some fantastic rewards from UKEdTech, then go to the link in the show notes or in the live chat if you're watching live with me. So that is it. All I wanted to say is if you're interested in appearing on the show as a guest, then please do get in touch. If you have something for me to review, then again, get in touch, please. Always happy to hear about new products that are coming online now. And lastly, if you've got any advice for future geeky t-shirts that I could wear for future editions, then once again, please get in touch. Thanks for watching.